Hey guys, this is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I'm Stephanie, and I will be doing a reading for you today about what is going on in this connection. So this is going to be a romantic or love type situation. So if you have any questions about friends, platonic connections, or family, I will have a video up on that at some point in the future. But we're going to focus on the romantic aspect between you and another person, because I've noticed when I try to do these kinds of connection readings, it tends to gear towards the romantic anyway, so I thought I might as well get that out of the way and make this a love reading. So if you're interested in that, I have 4 piles for you to choose today. We have pile 1 with the carnelian heart, pile 2 with the smoky quartz heart, pile 3 with this cute little quartz star, and pile 4 with an orange calcite heart. So take your time to choose your pile, maybe do a little meditation, maybe ask a question that you want answered, and hopefully I will be able to give you the proper response for that answer. And I'll meet you when you're ready. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the carnelian heart, this is your reading. We're going to start with an energy check between you and your person. And how this works is I'm going to have 2 separate piles and then a few connecting cards connecting to see what is going on with this relationship. So you can choose either person A or B. If you feel that you see a little bit of yourself in both piles, you could be mirroring each other, or your energy could just be flip-flopping. Sometimes when we make a connection, our energies tend to intermingle a little bit. But either way, you will see that one pile is more resonating with you than the other. So just choose, or take the messages that you feel are meant for you as I play out these cards and do your reading. So we're going to start with the connecting energy, and that is achievement, effort plus intention. And we also have the card sugar or saccharum. I think this is the Latin word for whatever this word is. So sugar. And for person A, we have Puffin partnership. Accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. And then person B, Ram, perseverance. You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will follow. Right, another card for person A. Full moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. And person B. First quarter moon in Libra. Keep your heart open. Person A, confidence. Person B, abundance. Person A, hunter. Track down your fears and desires. And person B, she-wolf. Unleash the wild within. Okay, wow. Let's start with person A. Like, I can already see how you mirror each other, because we have the Ram and then Capricorn. Well, Ram's in Aries. But still, I think goats and rams are more related than, there's more similar than different. But either way, let's start with person A. A cute little puffin over here. And I like that the partnership card came out, because clearly you're here to see what is going on in this connection. But person A seems to be very invested in a partnership, either looking for one or in one. I already get the sense you two are aware of each other and are definitely in a relationship, just because there's a lot of stability here. There's a lot of Capricorn energy, a lot of cardinal energy. The cardinal signs are Aries, Capricorn, Libra, and Cancer. And we have pretty much all of them except Cancer here. Sorry, I need to stay concentrated on person A. So you might have a lot of Capricorn in your chart. I know black is also a Capricorn color. So if that resonates, hello, Capricorns. Full moon in Capricorn can also be a Cancer sun, because if you're born under a full moon, your moon is the opposite sign of whatever your sun sign is, and in this case it'll be a Cancer. So you might also be a Cancer, because these puffins are also making me think of like a nurturing personality, which is very much Cancer. With Hunter here, I get that person A they go for what they want. They know what they want and they go for what they want. There's a lot of confidence here, obviously, but also a lot of joy, because even this Hunter, tracking down your fears and desires, you're not afraid to set goals and achieve them in a realistic manner. You may have been the one to reach out to person B, is what I'm getting, because it's like you're hunting for this she-wolf character, and also the puffins looking in this way. It's like, yeah, I'd kind of like to get to know this this individual. Onto person B, I'm getting, so the ram is Aries, that's their animal, but and then with first quarter moon in Libra, you may have a moon in Libra, which is also the opposite sign of Aries. You and person B may be opposites in some way, or at the very least it can come off like that. Maybe people look at you and think, you two are so different, how did you come together? Or when you met, when person A and person B met, they may have thought, I have nothing in common with this person, we are so different. So there may be that. Person B, our little ram here, he or she, there's no, I don't get a sense of feminine or masculine in here, by the way, so it could be either or. I get a good combination of both. Like, this is, both individuals are very well balanced. But person B, they're the breadwinner in this relationship, or for themselves, or they may have accrued a large amount of money before they met person A. They're very dedicated. I get the sense that they're very disciplined. I almost get business owner or a CEO type of vibe from person B. But it's like there's something missing for person B. With keep your heart open and unleash the wild within, they may have themselves reserved or keep themselves reserved. Like, it's like, I'm looking at the moons because these two cards mirror each other very well, and they're not from the same deck. We have two individuals under the moon. It's almost like at night they feel a bit of lack, like kind of you go to sleep and you feel like there's something missing, despite the fact that you do have a lot of gifts. I feel like they've achieved a lot in their life already. But it's almost like they feel a lack somehow, and maybe person A was able to see this within person B. These are both very grounded individuals, and maybe despite whatever differences they may have seen when they first encountered each other, underneath that they also understood. It was like there was a mutual understanding of something. Maybe whatever person B was lacking is exactly what person A had, or was something that person A knew that they could provide for person B. I get the sense person A is a bit more intuitive than person B. So they're connecting energies, achievement. You both want to achieve something. You may have the same goals or very similar goals that complement each other very well. And then with sugar, there's a sweetness to this energy. It's like despite all the ambition and the high achievements and the abundance and confidence. This is just such great energy, by the way. Whatever you two create when you're together, this is something very stable and long lasting. Because we also have a buffalo here. The buffalo I associate with Taurus. And Taurus is known for being a very abundant, a very wealthy sign. Not all Tauruses, trust me, there's a lot of broke Tauruses out there. I used to be a broke Taurus at certain points of my life. But they care and nourish and cultivate material wealth, whether that's through effort or just through attracting it. And I get the sense you two do both. You both work for it and you attract it into your life. So material stability is something that is very important in this partnership. I'm also seeing hunter and wolf here. So I really get the sense that person A pursued person B because they kind of knew there was something going on with person B. Person B may have been interested, but may have not shown it at first, because I'm looking at the rams and I feel like these, if we were to assume this is one ram, these two rams in the back are like taking a peek at person A, but like acting like they're not really that interested. It's like, maybe. But there's a lot of earth energy here, by the way, just because of the, I always associate green with the earth signs. Like I said, the buffalo reminds me of Taurus, Capricorn is an earth sign. They're both earth signs. And even this ram is very earthy looking. I don't see that much fire, even though it is there. I'm getting more like a an Aries that leans more towards Taurus, or on the cusp, an April born Aries. But it's interesting. It's almost like person B was on the fence about person A, because we do have these rams looking. I'm taking the rams as intuition, because animals are more intuitive than people, or the emotional side of our animal instinct, if you will. But then these two individuals here are looking that way. It's almost like maybe they didn't want to see what was going on. Maybe they had to look away because they had something else going on. With Unleash the Wild, person B may have difficulty in letting loose, like having fun. Maybe they've been in work mode for a long time and don't know how to get a little bit of sugar. Unleash that sweetness. But when you two come together, this is not an 18 plus reading. I won't put those on YouTube. Those will be something I have available for you in the future on other platforms. But yeah, there's a lot of sexual attraction and chemistry here. It's almost like you have fun when you come together. Like, despite the very serious, well, there's a bit of seriousness in this connection, but when you come together, it's almost like there's something playful and sweet and wonderful that is created between you two. But yeah, there's definitely some chemistry in this connection. And you're both very frank with each other, I feel, because I'm not having any trouble discerning what is going on between either of you and this connection. It's more like you're a very honest couple. If you are coupled, if you're still dating, there still may be a sense of honesty. And I'm not sure whether, I may have said this in the beginning, that I'm pretty sure you two are in a relationship, but this could also be dating in a committed relationship, or I don't get the sense that this is something that is past, though. I don't get the sense that these two are going anywhere. It's like they're very much in it right now, or about to be. But person B may be a bit more reserved. Yeah, Libras can be indecisive. So the Moon in Libra here is making me think they're weighing their options. Not saying that they're not going to be committed to person A, because Capricorns, they can make up their mind. They know what they want. But Libras, Libras are very loyal, but before they get there, it's kind of like they have to weigh their options, do a pros and cons list. Maybe person B does do a pros and cons list, even if just mentally, it doesn't tell anybody. They're just seeing all the sides of what this connection can bring. And maybe they are seeing that there's a lot of goodness in this. There's a possibility for achievement and abundance. If person B isn't abundant now, they will be. And person A is going to be nurturing this. I just get such a nurturing energy, a nurturing, loving energy from person A. They're also highly intuitive. Of these two, it's person A that's more intuitive. But yeah, such a lovely grounding energy. Like there's potential here for a power couple. I have astrodice, and I've been meaning to use these in my past readings, but I have not. So let's check these out because I'm a big astrology nerd. We've got the 10th house in Capricorn. I mean, the signs look a little different, but that's Capricorn. And, oh, okay, well, I messed this up because let's do that again. No, you're staying Capricorn. Sorry. Okay, Neptune. So it's the 10th house. This is it's the Capricorn house, but it's also the house of achievements of all things. You may have Neptune in Capricorn. I know I do, so you may be of my generation, early 90s, late 80s, and I don't think it's come back around yet. I don't know if Neptune will anytime soon, because the outer planets, they pass very slowly through the zodiac wheel. But with the 10th house, this is a relationship that is very visible to the public eye. It's the house of career, achievement, and also public scrutiny. So perhaps your relationship is one that many people are aware of, or perhaps it's very, I don't want to say public, because I also get the sense there's a lot of privacy within these two, but it's almost like people are very aware of your connection, and people may even ask so many questions, like, how did you two come together? How are you so different and yet so how are you able to work this out? How are you so serious as a couple, as individuals, but then it seems like you two have so much fun together? And I do get the sense that you have a lot of fun together, pile one, with the confidence and the sugar and the abundance. It's like you have the money to do whatever. You have the confidence to set things out, and then you have that sweetness that just literally sugarcoats everything, so you're able to have these wonderful experiences together. And I feel like you do need, like, you may go on vacation a lot, or may go to, I don't know, maybe theme parks are your thing, maybe just having really fun dates are important to you, because there's a tendency to have too much seriousness in this relationship. Possibly. Like, I'm just getting that. It's because I feel so grounded right now. And there's no reason for me to be, because I haven't done much to ground myself. But this connection is rooted very deeply, and there's such an opportunity for growth. But let's get into the tarot and see what that has to say, because this is such lovely energy. Alright, so we're going to be using Tarot of the Divine, and I'm going to be clarifying that with the Sun and Moon Tarot. So for pile one, we have the Tower, 3 of Swords, 9 of Wands, 7 of Swords, King of Wands. And then to clarify the Tower, we have Four of Swords, Judgment, the Aeon, clarify Nine of Wands. Oh, I don't take reversals, but the High Priestess. Okay, I'm gonna leave it as a reversal just because that's how it came out. Seven of Swords, clarifying. Six of Swords. And to clarify, the King of Wands. Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so there's been a lot going on in this relationship, and back of the deck energy, the Star, which is wonderful because you may also be drawn to the star crystal in this reading, which I have not done yet, but this might be a sign to maybe, if you did feel a draw to that, maybe go check that one out as well. All right. Okay, there's a story here. This relationship came unexpectedly, it feels like. Maybe one or the other, one or two of you may have been heartbroken in a past relationship, especially person B, because I had the sense that they were weighing their options very carefully, kind of treading with caution. There may have been heartbreak, maybe unresolved trauma from previous relationships, and this has made them have to put up their defenses. Either or both. And there's just such a fear that things may not work out. And maybe that's why there's a bit of seriousness to this relationship. It's like, I don't want any nonsense. I don't want to deal with what I've dealt in the past. I'm going to be serious about this, and we'll just see how this goes. But with the King of Wands, the King of Wands is a very optimistic individual. This is a fire sign energy. Maybe person B does have Aries in their chart. Maybe they are in Aries. It's almost like there's all this groundedness, because grounding can also feel like negativity to certain individuals. The root chakra is both being stable, secure, and safe, and fear. Like, it's those two balances. And I'm getting that very heavily from this connection. Let's see, clarifying cards, Four of Swords. Yeah, it's like you didn't expect this this connection to come out of no one was expecting this connection. It's more like they were just resting, they were taking a break from relationships. Because the Four of Swords is rest, usually after having dealt with something very difficult or heavy. It's recuperation after a fight. Here it says truce. Maybe either of you were making a truce with yourself, like, okay, let's just take a break from relationships because we've had to deal with a lot, especially this past heartbreak or relationship or breakup. It's like they made a lot of heavy decisions after that situation. Though I should note that in the Tarot of the Divine, specifically, I think it's called the Crane Wife, where if I'm remembering the story correctly, she's hurting herself to help her husband by turning herself into this crane and like plucking the feathers. It's a myth. I want to say it's a Chinese myth or Japanese, somewhere in East Asia. But the myth is they're hurting themselves for the person they love. Maybe that was what was going on in the past connection. There was somebody who the individual didn't hurt them, on purpose anyway, but they were diminishing a lot of themselves for this individual, and they decided, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to respect and love myself first before anything. And so through this, they come into this connection very cautiously. With the Nine of Wands, so there's a good amount of intuition in both individuals. I feel like person A is the more naturally intuitive person, but person B may have developed their intuition due to whatever has come in the past, due to their trials and tribulations of their former romances. And this has caused them to put up such thick barriers. Like, it's almost like this is person B and this is person A, and they would love to get to know them, but there's this fence of skulls on fire, and it's like, okay, but here's some flowers, and it's like, well, why didn't you come out and smell the roses? You know, or it could also be reversed. It could be both of you, either of you, just take the messages how they resonate with you. But it's almost like in knowing, how do I say this? In developing your intuition, you also developed barriers. And maybe you had to develop barriers to develop this intuition, because how are you going to know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, what is you, if you're always letting other people's energies in? And there's nothing wrong with that, but there comes a time when you do have to bring them down. And Spirit is very much asking you to have hope and to be more optimistic going forward in the future. Like, yes, have your barriers, but also don't let your barriers prevent you from having fun. With the Seven of Swords is deception. But here, I'm getting more like, again, the caution, treading very carefully. This reminds me of a dog. Like, you know how sometimes a dog will be scared of something even though you're not doing anything awful. Like, there's a lot of dogs that have been traumatized by, you know, maybe previous owners, if they've been adopted, and they'll see something and react in such a weird way. Like, I know dogs that if they see a belt be lifted up, maybe you're just taking off your belt, they start screaming and running because they have such trauma. So either person A or B could have something like that, where the other person may trigger them by doing or saying something. And the truth is, there's nothing, like, they didn't mean anything negative by that, but because they still have certain things to work through, they'll react in a certain way that, you know, brings a bit of disconnect in this connection, in this relationship. The Six of Swords, it's a, again, just like the Four of Swords, it's taking a break, it's moving on from something, but here I'm feeling like they're trying to move on from this trauma, from the barriers and the trigger points that they're aware they have. Both individuals in this connection are very aware of their I don't want to say problems, their systems and the programs that they've developed from previous experience. But there's also a willingness to change, especially here with the King of Wands. Again, optimism, and either of you could be the King of Wands, really. Eight of Pentacles is working, taking stock of what it is that you're growing and building, and usually that's towards something material, but in this case I feel like it's emotional, and when it comes in terms of relationships, it's like, how can I work on bettering myself? This is what these two cards together are letting me know. It's like, how can I work to better myself so that I can have more hope at the end of the day? Not just in this connection, not just in this relationship, but also as an individual. And I feel like you two grow very profoundly just being with each other and being within each other's energy. because there's a lot of potential. So I feel that either you're coming into this connection or you're already in it, and regardless, you are working, doing a lot of inner introspection and a lot of emotional work to better yourselves through each other, which is wonderful. But at the same time, you're keeping your energies reserved to yourself, because again, this myth sticks out of you're not supposed to be diminishing yourself in order to bring somebody else up. You inspire each other to do this for yourselves, and in turn you help each other in a way that doesn't deplete each other's energy. And if that's not the case, that's what spirit is telling you should aim for. That's all I get from the tarot right now. Let's move on to your advice and closing messages. I love this though. It's like you're willing to work together as two people, either as two individuals, as two people individually, but together, or you inspire each other to be better people. That's a very lovely energy to have, pile one. Alright, we're gonna get some cards from the ritual deck. I really love this deck just because if you're somebody who is into ritualistic type things, or this can help with whatever it is you might need. So for example, we have green, life, renewal, prosperity. You may want a green candle on your altar if you're that type of person, or just, you know, burn a green candle around your house. Fehu, wealth, provision, blessing. And north, health, wholeness, physical body. And with this, I also get the sense of healing, as we were previously talking about. But let me also get some oracles, actual words and wisdom. Alright, we have the initiation, the crumbling, and birthing a new age. Okay, this is beautiful. So yeah, there's a lot of growth in this relationship, especially because it feels like you have the building blocks for this. Because this connection is so grounded, you're able to build up on it. It's like you're rooted very deeply within the earth, so you can grow this lovely plant, tree, whatever it is you want to grow. But there's a lot of green here, a lot of heart chakra. You're both developing a lot of self-love, a lot of self-respect, because the heart chakra can be love for others, but it can also be love for yourself, because if you don't love yourself, how can you love anybody else? With green also, I'm getting a lot of money. There's prosperity, there's wealth. So if money is a problem in this, I wouldn't worry about it for too long, because you're going to be financially well off one way or another. I feel like I get those messages in a lot of my readings, so I'm very happy for everybody who's watching and is resonating and accepting that. Comment below if you want to accept this. And even if you don't, you will get it anyway. But I'm also getting renewal. That's what it said, renewal. So it's almost like you're being provided for. Even if you're not trying that hard to work, you're going to be provided for financially, so you can actually focus and work on yourself. So you don't have to worry about the bills. You don't have to worry about, you know, if you're going to be able to afford your lifestyle. It's like you will just focus on that self-love and everything will come. With the North Node, you might reside somewhere in the Northern Hemisphere. But specifically, maybe somewhere up in a colder region. I don't know why that came to mind. Maybe you'll be moving in that direction as well. But it says health, wholeness, and physical body. Your emotional health affects your physical health. So if you're going through anything physical, maybe focus on the emotional to see if that will help the physical realign itself. But you're very obviously working on mental health, on these traumatic relationships that have affected you in your current relationship. This is also a masculine energy. I did get the feeling that this connection leaned more toward masculine, but maybe you have to rely a bit on the feminine, the emotional, because the masculine is physical. The initiation. This is where, if we were to put these like in a past, present, future type situation, I feel like that would make more sense. This is where you were. You had to go through like this very stormy looking night and to go out into this threshold, into this beautiful, it looks like a beach almost. I don't know if that looks like, yeah, like a beach with some mountains or dunes, rocks, I don't know, into this much more beautiful landscape. And then it's like here we have an up close visual of that, the crumbling. It's also reminded me of the tower. Maybe this relationship came very unexpectedly into your life because you needed something to just to be a catalyst for this transformation, for this healing, because you both mutually heal with each other. The question here is, what are you clinging on to? So what are you still holding on to from these past relationships, from these past programs that you've allowed your body to download that you need to release? Because a lot of them are not serving you anymore. And then birthing a new age. Yeah, there's a lot. Again, the renewal, there's going to be, by the time you're either established as a committed long-term relationship, or if for whatever reason it doesn't work out, once you come out of this relationship, you'll be a whole different person. And people may even say this, it's like, what are you doing? Birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. This could also, you may be inspired to build something new through this connection. You may decide, maybe this is not how I want to live. I want to live like this. And because of this person, you're able to create that, whether it's just in your mind or to actually physically accomplish this. And you will get a new sense of, it's like your intuition will amplify, because that's what I'm feeling with the indigo, purple, and white here. You're going to feel a higher connection, both of you, not just one or the other, both of you, because this is supposed to be a mutually benefiting relationship. It's not just one gives and one takes, or one leaves the other crumbling. It's supposed to be very mutually beneficial, and regardless of how this relationship ends, you both come out feeling very enlightened through this connection. So that is all I have for you today, Pile 1. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If anything resonated, please let me know. I would like to see if anything in this connection is what you're going through. If you would feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next reading. Thank you so much. Hello there, Pile 2. If you chose the Smoky Quartz Heart, this is your reading. We're going to start with an energy check to see how you and your person in this connection, what the vibe check is. And the way this works is we're going to have a person A and a person B, and then connecting energies in the center. And I'm actually kind of excited for this pile, because when I was shuffling these, I just got very exciting energy. So let's start with the connecting energy. We have duality, many meanings, misunderstanding. And then you actually got 2 of the alchemy cards. We have winter and Jupiter. I hope this shows up in the frame. But It's blocking the words. You know what? Let's do this. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so for person A, we have Black Jaguar, Old Soul. Walk through life with confidence and grace. You have power from beyond the world. Focus on what you really want. You can create your dreams. And then person B, Orca Whale, Adventure. Dare to do things differently. Sing your wild song. Manifest your travel dreams. Attempt the great journey with confidence. Be loyal. Friends and family are your treasure. Be brave. You are more powerful than you know. All right, person A, we have Seer. See beyond the current situation. Person A, we have Traveler. Move in a new direction. Person A, Isolation. Person B, Consciousness. And then person A, Full Moon in Aries, cool your emotions. And New Moon in Capricorn, step up and lead. Okay, such different energies, right? This is interesting. I'm already getting a lot of Sagittarius, Jupiter, just because both of these both of these cards have to deal with traveling, adventure. I even said travel here. Jupiter rules Sagittarius, so I'm getting a very abundant, worldly person for person B, and then person A is almost the opposite. Like, let's start with person A, just because you're a very interesting individual, person A. I get the sense that you're very intuitive. You may be a seer, you may have, and you acknowledge that you have any of the clear powers, like claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and there's others, but you're definitely very intuitive. You're very connected to source, and because of that, I feel like you're a very isolated individual, person B. And you can be either or. Either this could be your person, or you could be this person. But I really get the sense that this person B is going to be the one who's watching a tarot video on YouTube. I mean, sorry to call you out, but but let's even if that doesn't resonate, let's get back to person A. They might be in Aries or have a full moon in Aries, and if they do have a full moon in Aries, if they were born under a full moon in Aries, then you're a Libra, because their opposite sign is during the full moon. This is interesting. I kind of want to know how person A and person B came together, because with person A, I'm also getting hermit energy. You might keep to yourself a lot. You're very introverted, but also very intuitive. Maybe you are introverted because of how intuitive you are. I feel like those two feed each other very well. You're definitely an old soul. It's almost like deep down you're just wary of the world because you've lived so many lifetimes, like almost nothing phases you. But at the same time, you feel very intensely, just because this moon here, and of course, cool your emotions. I feel like whenever you do feel, whatever it is you feel very, very drastically and emotionally intense, if that makes sense. And it's not a bad thing. This is beautiful. We need people who feel, so that there's more understanding in this world. With winter, you might have been born in the winter, wherever you are, but I'm also getting just an individual who prefers to be alone, who is very who enjoys solitude and is very not lonely. You're not lonely at all. You just enjoy being alone by nature, because then you're able to really explore everything you feel and your connection to source, and you get your sense of self back. It's almost like you renew yourself in isolation. I'm also getting high Scorpio vibes here, by the way. So you may be a Scorpio Libra cusp. If so, you were born in October, which I'm also getting October from this. Like, this jaguar's got a bit of orange in the black. I mean, that's Halloween right there. If you live in the States. But yeah, you're a highly intuitive individual, and you prefer to be by yourself. You prefer to be a loner. And then we have this person B over here, who I feel travels the world, has seen a lot, is also connected to source. There's a lot of a sense of consciousness here, like they're connected to source, but in a different way. You both are, but you take such different approaches. And maybe this is how you've met, is through some kind of spiritual community or a spiritual connection. And you realize you have such different ways of seeing connection to spirit. Like, person B is very much live your life to its fullest, travel everywhere, do everything, seek out adventure, expand. They may be a leader, step up and lead. They move in all kinds of different directions. I get the sense that person B ran into person A, maybe on accident. Because person B is just very expansive. I feel like it's funny, even just tapping into person B from person A. Here it's like very calm, very dark and moody, but calm and nice and serene. And then person A is like, you're out and about in the world, very much an extrovert, very much, or even if they don't consider themselves an extrovert, they have seen a lot of the world that they can probably find something in common with anybody they meet. This is somebody who befriends people very easily. Person A, probably not so much. They probably have a closer group of friends. They may not let everybody in. So with the duality card here, it's almost like you're two sides of the same coin. You both believe in the law of attraction. You both are very intuitive. You both understand that there's a higher power that everybody is connected to and is a part of to some extent. It's funny. I always feel like these two characters in this deck are like the same person. Like, you just put a blue veil over her and it's the same person. But here she is hiding away from everybody and being all intuitive, and here she is exploring the world. So yeah, I get the sense that you came together because you have one thing in common, a common goal, a common purpose. And it somehow works. Like, you help each other grow and expand, and you love to talk about spiritual things. You may meditate together. You may enlighten each other through how you go about navigating life. And it's very fun energy, because like I said, when I was shuffling these cards, just something really clicked about this pile. Like, I don't know, you even got 2 alchemy cards, so there's chemistry here somehow. I get the sense this is more of a flirtation or a friendship right now, but you both know that there might be a possibility for romance, because this is a romantic reading. But you may not be sure. With misunderstanding here, you're kind of afraid that one or the other may misunderstand. And this is true especially if you're a very spiritual person. You tend to love everything and everybody, because you know universal love is the heart of everything that connects you to your intuition, to spirit, to grounding yourself in the earth, because this is where we live. That when you expand, you feel love for everything. It's almost like you don't want to make the mistake of, you don't want to mistake your platonic, brotherly, universal love for this individual as a romantic love. But because you two are popping up in this reading, I get the sense that yes, there is a high probability for that, and it can be healthy, and it can be very eye-opening. At the very least, you two love each other on the spiritual plane. Person B may be a Capricorn, but I'm getting more Sagittarius. You may be a Sagittarius Capricorn cusp in December. Person A, I just get more Mars and Pluto energy from you, both with Aries, and again, this card gives me Scorpio vibes. So you may be either of those signs, but I was also thinking Libra and any sign born in winter in your hemisphere, because I get the sense that this is probably a long distance connection. So you may be in the southern or northern hemisphere, but regardless, winter is your season. You may also be, and this is a completely different take, you may be a winter in terms of color season and fashion wise. Like you have high contrasting skin and hair and features in your face, like your eyes are dark and your skin is light, or you may have cool tones to you. I don't know why I'm bringing this up for pile or for person A. You may be getting into fashion just a little bit, just because maybe you want to up your physical appearance, because this lady looks like, I don't know, I think she looks fashionable. Let me get some astro dice, because I've been wanting to use these astro dice. Astrology is my first foray into spiritual practices, so I can provide a lot more astrology stuff than anything else. Okay, this is... Yeah, like I was saying, a lot of Mars energy here for pile A, but also pile B, or person A and person B. Scorpio, I did mention Scorpio. And then the 10th house. So 10th house is usually career, public image, but in this case, I'm getting the feeling that it's more, what is it, the midhaven? No, I forgot, what is it called? But the way you come off to people is probably very Scorpionic. Because you're so different, you're polar opposites, but what connects you is spirituality, and that's how I feel Scorpio is. It's like they are very open to the contrasts in life, and that's why I brought up winter in color palette, because the color palette of winter in fashion is contrasting. And almost even the orcas, black and white. With Scorpio, they like to see things in black and white, but it can also be like just appreciating the differences and the oppositions in people. It's appreciating that which makes you complete and polar opposites, but also understanding that there is something that binds you together. Person B may inspire person A to come out of their shell a lot more. And person A may inspire person B to settle down a little bit. Like maybe just take a break every now and then, because all this traveling around and can leave you weary. And at the same time, being stuck inside all day, well, you could just like look what you're missing out on. Like you're both right. And it's just wonderful how I love the polarity in this relationship, because it doesn't seem like it drives you apart. It's more like it attracts you to each other. It's like magnets. And this might be the first time you even see a relationship like this. Like, wow, I thought I would hate you, but I actually don't. I learn a lot from your very different perspective from mine. So there's a lot of mutual respect here. Let's move on to the tarot, because I am excited to see what the tarot has to say about this lovely connection. We're going to use the Tarot of the Divine, and we're going to clarify it with the Sun and Moon Tarot. We have 7 of Coins, 8 of Coins, 5 of Swords, the Hanged Man, and Queen of Coins. And then to clarify the 7 of Coins, oh, okay, I got some of the Tarot of the Divine deck meshed into this, so I'll pick it up later. Alright, to clarify the 7 of Coins, we have Three of Wands. To clarify, Eight of Coins. Queen of Wands. Clarify, Five of Swords. Four of Swords. And to clarify, the Hanged Man. King of Wands. And to clarify, the Queen of Coins. Princess of Wands. Okay. So, what do we have to learn about pile 2, person A and B? I get the feeling that either or person came into somebody's life when they needed them the most, if that makes sense. It's almost like either individual had to go through something. It's like they were working on something, but it didn't work out, and they had to pick up the pieces of their life and move on. The Hangman can be, in this case, at least in this deck, it's a card of rest. And this is clarified by this, actually, by the Four of Swords. It's rest. It's almost like something didn't work out, so they had to really look deep into themselves and meditate, because she does look like she's meditating. This is Sleeping Beauty. It's supposed to be Sleeping Beauty, by the way. And then through this, they found Queen of Coins, King of Wands. Because the way this is presenting itself to me, it's like these two cards are kind of connected to both. I don't know, it's weird. It was meant to be how they're laid out, but instead it's like everything surrounding it. Each card is affecting it. And this might be how your relationship pans out. It's almost like everything you do and did was affecting the other individual. If not conscious, on a subconscious level, not consciously, because I get the feeling that it's a long distance thing. You may have met online, you may have met, yeah, I feel like you've met online or somewhere, maybe while traveling. Maybe it was like a vacation time for person A, and there was the one time, one of the few times of the year where they come out and like really immerse themselves among other people, and they just happen to meet person B, who's very chatty and very open to meeting new people. But you can actually take it however you want. It could be person B who had to go through this and person A came into their life, or it could be the other way. But I get the feeling it's both of you. Like you were both going through something, and then suddenly this person popped into your life and changed it for the better and began something new and promising. We have the Queen and King of Wands here, and it's almost like you light a fire within each other, because all the clarifying cards are mostly wand suits. And wands is fire, it's action, it's movement, it's literally igniting the soul. And I feel like you do that for each other. But it's almost like you had to go through what you went through to meet each other. It's like, how would you have known? It's like your distress was setting out, or well, not the distress, but your meditation to heal this trauma was setting out a beacon for the other person to find you. And in doing so, it's like they've offered you a new perspective on your previous suffering, or previous work. It's not that much heartbreak that I'm feeling here. It's more like you lost something in having put so much effort into a previous endeavor, whether that's work, a relationship, or maybe a business, something that just didn't pan out the way you wanted it to, so you had to go back to the drawing board. And then this person showed up, and maybe they gave you the funds to do so. Maybe they gave you the inspiration to try again. Yeah, that's pretty. That makes a lot more sense, and that's what I'm getting out of this. But it's actually for both of you. I don't feel like this resonates with one person more than the other. You were both on very similar journeys, and that's how you met. It's almost like, because we are talking about opposites and opposites attracting, the polarity brought you closer together, and now you're at a crossroads, and it's like, okay, well, now that I know you, and I'm getting the song, what's it called? From Wicked, Because I Knew You? For Good. It's called For Good. I've been changed for good. If you don't know what that song is about, it's from the musical Wicked, which I think a movie is coming up soon in the next year or so, about these two complete opposite characters. One's this bubbly blonde lady, and the other one is like this moody green witch, and they completely different. There's a whole song about how they just are not going to get along, and then they get along, and it's like, oh wow, we have a common denominator, and we're actually best friends now. And this is how your relationship may start out, pile 2. Yeah, I'm also getting, well, no, I'm not going to talk about the song because I don't think it was officially released. But yeah, you've changed each other for the better. And I still get the feeling that this relationship is at the beginning stages. Like, you two still don't know whether it's going to continue forward as a romantic relationship or as anything else, because there might still be some wariness there. And maybe you've come to this reading because you really want to know whether you want to know what's going on in this connection, obviously. But I don't know. All I can tell you is the Queen and King of Wands are here, and they're supposed to be a power couple. Any Queen and King in any suits is a power couple. But the fact that you two are resonating so well, I would say, why not? Maybe you two are waiting for something else to happen. Maybe you both are taking a break from something. Maybe right now you realize you're so far apart. Because I do get the sense this is long term, or online at least, that maybe it's not even worth pursuing, but you're keeping each other open as an option, as a very viable option. And if you're not, I think you should. I mean, do what you want, and of course this is not professional advice, but I wouldn't count this relationship out. It's funny, we get more wild cats here. We have a cheetah or a leopard, and then a tiger, and then before we had the jaguar. Maybe you're both cat people. Maybe that's how you got to know each other. But you're both cat people, or maybe you're both busy with work, and you're having a hard time finding it hard to come together to find the time to come together and actually make this relationship work. Let's see what advice we have for you, pile 2, because I really want to see what the potential for this connection is. Oh, and there I did it again. Maybe you two are realizing that your lives are becoming interwoven without you really needing to, or maybe you're getting like wandering thoughts about them without realizing. Like maybe you find yourself daydreaming and suddenly, oh, person A or B pops into your head, and it's like, oh wait, why was I thinking about that? About person A or B? Like, well, crap, maybe that's some Freudian thought there that I should maybe take a chance on. At least go on a date or something. At least express it to them, like, hey, I'm actually kind of interested in you, and I think this could work somehow. I don't know, that's what I'm getting just out of these cards intermingling when they shouldn't be, because they're not from the same piles. From the same deck, I'm sorry. The piles are fine. I keep those. I make sure that they stay how they're supposed to stay. Okay, advice for pile 2. We have Leap. You go first. The universe will catch you. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. And Starseed. What lights you up? Probably pile 2's person. And then we have, from the ritual deck, if you're someone who does rituals, person A, probably you, we have selenite, which is right here. Perception, spirit, light. We have white sage, sacred cleansing, purification, and oh, okay, you got two. Waxing crescent and rose. Beauty, perfection, goddess, declaration, options, assessment. Yeah. That's definitely what's going on with this relationship or this connection. It's not a relationship yet, but I don't know. If I was your friend, I'd be like, yeah, just ask him out. I mean, it's the worst that could happen. But I love how these all match too, by the way. They all look like they're in the same color family. This is a beautiful work of art. So I'm loving this advice already. So Leap, you go first. The universe will catch you. Yeah, I would say take a chance. And it might be like you're both waiting for one or the other to say something. Like, no, you go first. I'm waiting on you to tell me something because I'm not gonna. Neither of you want to take the first step, but somebody's gonna have to. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Yeah, maybe it's time for something new for either of you. And maybe you both want to go out dancing. Maybe this is how you'll see how the other reacts to certain things. Or, I don't know, maybe do something. With this, I'm just getting date energy. Do something to change your energy. Or you could take up dance as exercise. Maybe you take a dance class, a Zumba class. My preferred method of working out is dancing, so that's why I associate this with wellness and health and exercise. Yeah, it's just time to bring some new life into your energy. And maybe this will help you gain the courage to say something to your person. With Starseed, what lights you up? Yeah, I think you light each other up. I think that's a rhetorical question. It's like, what lights you up? Being around this person's energy lights you up. I don't know why I felt the need to bring that over. But with selenite, perception, spirit light, and white sage, these are both very cleansing things. I burn white sage pretty often just because I have a big stock of it. I stocked up on it like a year ago because anytime I see it on sale or if I find a really nice kind of white sage, I'm just like, but white sage has a lot to do with the throat chakra, so you may need to work on throat chakra, work on communication, work on expressing yourself more openly and without fear. Just to be able to communicate more thoroughly, to communicate and express whatever it needs that needs to be expressed. And in this case, it's maybe even opening the conversation to this entire ordeal. Maybe bringing up, it's like, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think you and I could work? Is like what's coming to mind. Waxing crescent, declaration, options, and assessment. This is just you weighing out this relationship. Maybe you do need to give a declaration. You might receive roses, maybe, like get some roses delivered or flowers delivered to your house or wherever you live. Because if this is a long distance connection, that's usually the easiest way to, send a romantic gestures. Or you might receive just a gift in the mail or delivered to you and be like, oh wow, that was so nice. Because you two find each other beautiful, both inside and out. Beauty, perfection, goddess. Yeah, your person might see you as you or the other person who take this house resonates may see you as a goddess, and in their eyes, you're perfect. And this is so lovely. I wish you all the best, Pile 2. Thank you for letting me read for you. And if any of this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Best of luck to you. Bye. Hey there, Pile 3. If you chose the clear quartz little itty bitty star, this is your reading. So we're going to start off with any connecting energies. This is an energy check essentially, to see whether this is you or your person. And if you vibe with us, then we can proceed with the reading. If not, you can go check any of the other piles. to see if those resonate with you. But we're going to start with a connecting energy. And this is Soul Radiance, Phoenix Rising, and your actual card, Venus. Interesting. We're going to start with person A and person B. If you see yourself in either, you can choose whichever person you are, A or B. And if you see any similarities in these two, you could be mirroring each other, or your energies could be intertwined already. So you're essentially feeling and vibing the same thing. So person A, we have horse, freedom. Your heart is pure and free. A greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. Person B, we have ladybug, good luck. You are a bright energy. Let worry go and be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. Person A, last quarter moon in Scorpio, reveal what needs to be seen. Person B, last quarter moon in Capricorn, leave the past behind. Person A, we have Lord, take charge with authority. Person B, Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Person A, we have frustration, and person B, we have strength. Okay, so I don't know if either of you are artists or something, but this is such a colorful spread compared to like the other piles I've had so far. I'm also getting that with Venus, because Venus does rule creative expression, physical beauty, and the arts. But yeah, you both might be artists, you might, or just creative individuals. You might have a job or a lifestyle that requires you to be very creative in your everyday life. With Soul Radiance, there's a renewal here, and this may be a connection that where you started off as friends, or perhaps you've already dated in the past, but I don't know, there's something already set here. So let's start with person A, the horse. I get very masculine energy from person A, and regardless of your gender or what you identify as, person A has a very dominant masculine energy, and person B actually has the opposite. So you may be aware of that already. One takes the lead and the other one is just kind of, not just kind of there, but like they're the supporting person. But let's focus on pile or person A. They may have a Scorpio, because I'm getting a lot of Mars energy here with Lord and last quarter moon in Scorpio. And the horse. You may also be year of the horse, like me, and they're also a masculine sign. And frustration. Yeah, I really get the sense that you've tried this before, because you both have last quarter moon in the moons. Last quarter moon is like that very last phase before it becomes new, and then you start something new. It's the last phase of the waning stage of the moon. So it's almost like you're both at the end of something, and maybe you're about to start a cycle again. And maybe this connection is cyclical. Maybe it's just like you're going, I don't want to say you're going in circles, but maybe you've tried it before and for whatever reason it didn't work out, and now you're deciding to try it again. It is currently Venus retrograde when I'm filming this, so this might be what you're feeling at the moment, in the middle of, or at the beginning of August and late July. But I'm getting a lot of Mars energy, a lot of dominant male, masculine, so you could be a Scorpio or an Aries. Lord, take charge with authority. Yeah, I get the sense that person A was probably the one to begin this relationship. Or at the very least, like, let person B know that, hey, I'm interested. And they tend to dominate this relationship or take charge. And I think a ladybug is fine with that. Not everybody likes to be in control all the time, but person A definitely does. With frustration, I get the sense that not this relationship, it's not the relationship itself that causes a frustration. It's more like they're going through frustrating times, and maybe that's why it couldn't work out the first time around. Maybe they had a lot going on and they just couldn't give person B all the attention and that they deserved and needed. Or they could currently be going through a frustration and are looking to person B maybe for advice or to have somebody to I don't want to say to lean on, but to help them figure out things. With reveal what needs to be seen, they may be keeping this a secret from person B. Maybe person B didn't realize that person A was going through something when they broke this off, and person A is gathering the courage to let them know. It's like, hey, this is what was going on last time we were together. So I think it's only fair to you that I start being more honest with you, because there is a bit of throat chakra energy, communication that needs to be said. There's a lot of blue and indigo, so maybe you're finally tapping into your intuition, person A, and letting person B know what exactly is going on. I also like how these colors are mirroring each other. They're both red, which is a grounding, well, it could be taken one or two ways, either grounding root energy, but it could also be taken as passion, because I definitely get the sense that person B is the more passionate one in this relationship. Person B is probably a lot smaller than person A, again, regardless of gender. I'm getting feminine energy, so you might identify as that. But person B is very cute because this ladybug is adorable. And person B, again, I'm getting artistic nature from person B. They might have a job that requires them to be artistic and creative, but they're also very intuitive. I probably, of the two, person B has been in their intuitive space a lot longer than person A. With Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved, they've been working a lot on the self-love. And maybe through this, it's almost like person A is finally succumbing to person B again and coming forward with a more direct and honest communication that maybe wasn't there the first time around. If that is the case, if this is the first time you two are coming together, it could be that you were friends and maybe this relationship didn't quite take off. Like maybe there were some mild flirtations and one individual had to back off because something was going on and they didn't have time for a relationship. That could also be another thing going on with person A here, because person A is definitely very much into person B. Just because these two are facing each other, it's like, yeah, you're both into each other. But back to person B, who is a lovely, delicate, cute little soul. That's just how you come off, person B. I'm sorry if this is not how you vibe, but at the very least, person A sees you this way. But that's not to be mistaken for passivity or weakness, because you're very strong. The strength here lets me know that you probably take on a lot more than people give you credit for, whether that's in work, whether that's emotional work, or even just in your personal life. You may have a lot that you've gone through. Leave the past behind. Yeah, if this is a connection where this is a second or maybe some other whatever, if this is a connection that has tried before in the past, Spirit is letting you know, maybe just create a blank slate and leave any thoughts you have of person A behind, because they're a changed individual, or they're very willing to change. Let's get some astro dice to see what else we can get out of this connection. Let's see, we have Sagittarius. I don't even know which way that points. I guess this way. The 12th house. And Mars? Yeah, this is Mars. Okay. So either you might have Mars in Sagittarius or Mars in the 12th house. I have Mars in the 12th house, but it's also on my ascendant, so I don't feel like it's in the 12th house. But overall, this is a spiritual journey, a spiritual retreat, if you will, because Sagittarius is all about spirituality and expansion. Could also be travel, but I'm also getting internal travel of the mind and soul. Mars is the planet of we have Mars and Venus here, so there's a duality here. I always like seeing that here. It's how you go about life. It's how you go about expressing your anger, expressing your ambition, and how you do things. Basically, it's your action. But when it's in the 12th house, this could be someone who's just very meditative, or it can be somebody who's passive. Maybe you both have been in a very meditative space. This is probably more person A than person B. Person B probably does this regularly, and this is why they have a higher connection to spirit. But person A has been probably working on that a lot more than person B has, because person B is already there. And all person B has really been working on is loving themselves. So yeah, you both have been working on certain things, but there was just something in the past that prevented you from being able to fully express the love in this connection, or allow it to even take off if nothing ever happened between you two. Let's go into the tarot. And while I'm at it, I'm going to clean this crystal because I didn't even realize how dusty it was. Oh my god. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but that was bothering me. And maybe this is what you two need to do, is like dust off the residue of this connection and try again. If that's the case. If not, maybe you're just dusting off something from your vision, looking at this connection in a new and different way. So we're going to be using the Tarot of the Divine. And we're going to clarify it with the Sun and Moon Tarot. So to start off, we have Queen of Wands, the Devil, the Star, the High Priestess, excuse me, the High Priestess, and Death. Wow. You both had quite a journey. Let's get on to the clarifiers. To clarify the Queen of Wands, even though I don't think I need clarifiers for this, I think it's a little bit self-explanatory. Clarify the Queen of Wands, Three of Swords. To clarify the Devil, Seven of Swords. To clarify the Star, Ten of Pentacles. To clarify the High Priestess, Nine of Wands. And to clarify Death, Ace of Wands. And back of the deck energy is Princess of Swords. Okay, so a lot of major arcana. You're both connected individuals. Connected to source, that is. Highly spiritual, highly intuitive. Maybe one of you more than the other. But let's start with the Queen of Wands here. Hawaii may be of importance in this connection, just because this is oh my god, I forgot her name. I want to say Pele, but I don't know. I'm thinking Hawaii for some reason. Maybe you two went to Hawaii, met in Hawaii, or have plans to go, or you're from Hawaii, of Hawaiian ancestry. But with the Queen of Wands, I have the feeling that there may have been a third party involved. Maybe somebody was leaving behind someone, or was trying to, and they kept getting in the way, whether on purpose or not. Because maybe they just had unresolved issues, or maybe they came from a divorce, or whatever the situation may be. Maybe they lived with them and still had to live with them, so they couldn't earnestly go into another relationship while they were still dealing with their ex living in the house, or being maybe financially tied to them somehow. With the devil, there may also have been some bad habits involved. Either person could have been going through, God, I don't want to say rehab, but maybe they were trying to give up something, maybe a substance that they used or overused. Not all substances are bad, in moderation. But they felt like it was too much. Like maybe this previous relationship was forcing them, or situation, it doesn't have to be a person, it could just be a situation that was keeping them from moving forward. Maybe the situation was forcing them to stay in these bad habits. Maybe they took up smoking because the stress of having to deal with because the stress of having to deal with whomever or whatever they were dealing with was just too much for them. And they were kind of ashamed of that. They didn't want the other person to find out that this is what they were going through. Or maybe they were just being escapists. Maybe they were really, really submerging themselves into something like work or video games, or their hobby, whatever it is, to ignore the fact that they had a lot going on. And they couldn't come into the other person's life until they didn't want to come into the other person's life until this energy, this difficulty was resolved. With this star, I'm getting a sense of praying here. I don't know if either of you pray or meditate or maybe ask the universe for things, but it's like I would really love for this to go away so that I could be with person A or B. Yeah, this is probably why it didn't work out the first time. I'm really being guided towards that, or why it couldn't take off. They had to deal with somebody, and it was very draining, and maybe they didn't know how. So the only thing they could do was turn to their vices for comfort, support, because sometimes turning to our vices can be a way to process energy, unfortunately. It's like, not saying that I approve of this, but sometimes a lot of people come into their spiritual awakening when they're, for example, smoking weed or something. I do not condone this, but I know of people who have done this. And maybe they just wanted to, maybe they used it just for that, and after that it's like, okay, I need to scale it back and just be more in moderation. Or through drinking. I know a lot of people who get clarity through drinking. I've had moments like that. Again, I don't support doing this activity specifically for that, but you just don't know. You come across certain things in maybe not the best way of coming across them. Because the devil deals a lot with bad habits and anything that keeps you tied to a lower version of yourself. Because you can't stay in there forever, Even being tied to something negative will allow you to see something or create something positive in your mind, like the way to get out of it. But with the star, this may have been financial. That's the only reason I even brought up money with the past, with third person. Or they could have been building up their finances. Maybe their habit was not allowing them to generate money or keep their money. It could have been a gambling habit. But it's like they broke out of this energy. They broke out of whatever was keeping them low vibe. Yeah, it had to do with this third person, because even look how, because this character is not evil or bad. I'm just letting you know that. But it's almost like whatever was going on in the situation was causing this situation. But then they broke out of it, because look the rest of these cards don't look a thing like this past. But they're in a financially better place now, and maybe they can actually afford to take you out. Or do whatever it is. Maybe just having that financial stability is allowing them to be more confident in themselves, because we do have yellow here, solar plexus, chakra of confidence. With the High Priestess, and it's funny because this came up in a previous pile too. I think it was pile 1. And I think I called out this exact pile in pile 1 too, like before I even started this pile. So if either of those two, if pile 1 resonated with you, or maybe you were thinking about choosing that one but chose this one instead, maybe go back to that one and you'll find something in there. But sometimes when we become more intuitive, with the High Priestess here, who is it's a card of intuition, we tend to put up our barriers. We tend to put up our guard a lot higher. And sometimes we need to, so that we know who we are. So we know ourselves better than anybody else's energy. When you intermingle so many energies, sometimes you don't know whose energy is whose. Like, especially if you come from like a partnership where you were so intermeshed with the other that you don't even know who's who anymore. And this could be good or bad. If it's bad, then, you know, you don't want that energy to stick with you after you separated from this unhealthy person. But we put up our barriers just so we can know who we are. Those boundaries are necessary to better know ourselves and to keep unwanted energies out. At least that was my experience with my intuition development, with the development of my intuition, and this could be the same for you. If not you, maybe your person. But those boundaries have to come down at some point, because your intuition isn't going to ask you to keep yourself locked up forever. With death here, I'm not getting any negative. To me, death is rebirth, and I wish more decks had death as like a phoenix, because that's really more of what it is. Especially in this card, it's almost like she's peeling back the curtain, and you think it's going to be something negative, but that's really just your trauma telling you that this isn't going to work out. Behind that could be somebody very beautiful and wonderful waiting for you. And I'm saying that because underneath it is the Ace of Wands, a new beginning. Which really, this is all just expressing what I was channeling in the past oracles. But yeah, whether this is something new or whether this is someone who you've been with previously but couldn't work it out, or someone that maybe the attraction was expressed but they couldn't come forward yet. I get the sense, because both the Princess of Swords and the Ace of Wands, there are new beginnings here. It's new thoughts, new ideas, and the energy to pursue them. So, again, this is not professional advice, but I would take a chance just to see if this would work out or not. And if not, well, you're very divinely guided. Regardless of what happens, you're very divinely guided. You do not get this many major arcana cards in a spread if you're not. My lovely pile too. But let's get some closing advice for my lovely pile too. I would say, before even getting to the advice, to really detach from, well, whoever has a third-party situation, detach from your individual completely. You don't want to bring that energy into your new relationship, because it could end up affecting you in ways that are kind of random and not expected. That if you're bringing in energies that are not either of yours. But that's just my advice to anybody with a third party. Alright, so some advice for my pile. I've been calling you pile 2. You're pile 3. I am sorry. This is pile 3. But if you want a good look, check out pile 2 by all means. My beautiful, lovely pile 3. Some advice for pile 3. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. Yes, you're both empathic. or at the very least, this connection is empathic. And grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Star mother, how can you mother yourself? Somebody might be named Anna in this connection. And I forget what language it is. I want to say it's Turkish or whatever the Turkish language is. I think Anna or Anna is mother. The third party may have been a mother who was very toxic. Alright, advice for pile 3. Gray, neutrality, teamwork, the middle path. Rose quartz, unconditional love, self-care, and comfort. That's funny because there's a lot of rose quartz up here. I got like 3 of them. Because I knew this was going to be a love connection, or love connection reading, so I brought out the big guns. And conch, power, proclamation, awakening. Alright. So, yeah, like I said, I said to disconnect from any outside energies before proceeding into this connection, but also to get grounded. You're both empaths to some extent, or at the very least this connection allows you to become empathic. Connect to nature. You or the other person, like you both might be into nature. With Anna, grandmother of Jesus, you might be Christian or come from a Christian background. That may have been some of the toxicity that was trying to leak into this connection. Maybe somebody was Christian and they were using that as like an excuse for whatever was going on. But seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. Yeah. If this relationship is to take off, it's almost like you're going to be laying down boundaries and foundations and you're going to be laying groundwork for it. It's like, okay, well, what do we want out of this? How are we going to do things differently? What do we want to leave behind and not bring into this connection? You could also be divinely guided to each other. With Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? I get a bit of mother issues for both of you. And in have gone through that, you may have to have raised yourself or be a mother to yourself. This could be either of you or maybe just one of you. You may have a child with this person. Maybe that's why it couldn't take off the first time and now they realize, oh, you're pregnant. Well, we have to make it work. And maybe you do want to make it work. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But mostly this is healing the mother wound. Anything that you've inherited or learned through your mother that may not be the healthiest thing to be within your auric field and in your energy. You know, you don't want that affecting, because it can affect your relationships, current or future. It could affect the way you see yourself most of all, especially if you are feminine and identify with the mother energy. It can be very limiting, the things that your mother, if she wasn't the best figure for you, it could be damaging the things she ingrained in you, and Spirit is asking you to clear that, because the only thing you're supposed to feel from mother is absolute, beautiful, unconditional love. And I'm getting that with the rose quartz. So yeah, this is probably person B more than person A, though it can be the both of you, because person B was giving me that heart awakening. You both need to work on the heart chakra, and maybe through being with each other, you learn to work on it together. With Gray, neutrality, teamwork, I just get a sense of rebirth here. It's more like we're not hating each other, we're not loving each other, let's find a middle ground where we can start off anew. And you both want this. With conch, power, proclamation, and awakening, I feel like it's going to lead to this. This is probably why I left this card here. Like, through that neutrality, you're able to start something new. Through you're hitting a reset button, and you want to start this again. and see how much you can achieve and how far you can go, leaving the wounds of the past behind, leaving the wounds that we grew up with behind. And through this, you'll feel more grounded. Because yeah, this card feels like it doesn't fit. It's like, let's hit the reset button and boop. But this is where I leave you, pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, and let me know if any of this resonates. Thank you for your patience, because I think I called you pile 2 the whole time, and I did not mean to. If any of this resonated, please let me know in the comments, and feel free to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the orange calcite, we have your reading here for you today. We're going to start off with a vibe check between you and your person in this connection. It's going to be set up like person A and person B, and then connecting energies here in the center. Let's start off with the card we have under our calcite heart, and it's dissolution. And another connecting card is guide, the illuminated path. And if you see any, you can be either person A or B. If you see any similar energies, like maybe you have a little bit of each, you just could be mirroring each other, or your energies could be intertwined, and therefore your energies are kind of sharing similarities. But let's start with person A. Bison, abundance. Sacred buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. If you heard that, that was my my washing machine. So I don't know if that's any confirmation for the bison here. Person B has dragonfly, magic. I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. The magic of nature is in me. I am brilliant and I am blessed. So person A, we have last quarter moon in Libra, making time for self-love. Person B, full moon in Cancer, let your fears dissolve. Person A, Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. Person B, Spirit Fox, trust your talents in changing times. Person A, surrender, and person B, death. All right, so there's quite a lot going on in this connection. And it could either be you're about to be in this connection or you're already in it, but something tells me you're already in it because of the surrounding cards. Let's start with person A, the bison. So you're a very spiritual person, bison. You're divinely guided, whether you do this on purpose or not. You may have native ancestry, because I know bison is, I'm thinking of Buffalo Woman, the legend of the Buffalo Woman. But also bison are they're a very sacred animal here in the United States to the native populations here. I know it says abundance, and it may be abundance, an abundance of wealth and money and, you know, things in life that allow you to live your life to the fullest, but I'm also getting very heavy crown energy. This is your connection to source. Not so much third eye, which is weird because I usually get those two together. This is more crown. You're very divinely guided. Again, whether you do this on purpose or not. Surrender. I feel like this isn't giving up surrender. I feel like you allow the universe to take the wheel. Jesus take the wheel. That kind of situation. You just kind of allow the universe to let itself unfold in ways that, I don't know, you just let it unfold and allow it to guide you. With last quarter moon in Libra, you may have moon in Libra or Libra placements. And I am getting a lot of Libra just in this, in person A in general. Make time for self-love. Maybe you've been on a self-love journey. Maybe you've been on a healing journey. But you've been focusing on yourself, because I've noticed that a lot of these characters in this person are not even facing the other person. Even the guidance card here, it's almost like we're turning away from person B for whatever reason. We'll get into that. For Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. It's like you've been focusing a lot on yourself. If we take this little golden ball to be yourself. And listening to intuition. I always associate the little praying mantis in this as a guide or source. Because I think this is, I'm assuming this dude here is practicing the praying mantis type of martial arts, whatever martial art is that was influenced by praying mantis. But he's a very focused individual, and you probably are as well, Pile, or person A. If you are person A. Person A is a very focused individual. But I'm also getting a sense that you've been tapping into your sacral energy. Whenever this card pops out, I think sacral energy for whatever reason. I think because he's wearing orange. But also because of the dragon in the background. I know Kundalini is the Kundalini energy is technically all of the chakras, but I feel it the most in the sacral. Personally, when I've had my Kundalini awakening or my Kundalini energy, I felt it most in the hips and the pelvis, in that sacral region. So maybe this is part of the self-love you've been tapping into. If you are person A, this is the type of self-love person A has been tapping into. Yeah, just a lot of lovely energy. It's almost like they've had to step away from this connection. All right, okay, I'm sorry. My video cut off at like 6 minutes when I was already done with this. So I'm going to reread this because I was already done with person B and person A. And so yeah, I think this is a connection that has had to restart maybe a few times. The last thing I was speaking about was Kundalini energy. And I feel like that's something you've had to be working on, person A. But on to person B. So person B has had to let something die in order for this partnership to flourish and to continue. But they've embraced this. It's I embrace my transformation. I courageously let go of the past. This may have been a bad habit. This may have been something from their past that maybe they were still holding on to, whether that be people, habits, maybe just ways of seeing life. And this was something person A was not going to be able to put up with anymore. With the full moon in Cancer, they may be Cancer, or they could be a Capricorn, because if you have the moon in Cancer and it was full when you were born, then it's a Capricorn. I've been having a lot of that in these piles, like the opposite moon with the opposite sign. This could also just be full moon energy in general, because I am coming off of a very powerful full moon as I'm recording these. With the fox, person B may have been trying to get away with this for some time, because I know foxes can be sly, cunning, and a little tricksy. But like I said, person A was not going to be able to put up with this anymore. They've had to step aside. It's almost like person A has had to surrender. They've had to let go of the situation in order for person B to resolve this. Whatever this death may be, it could be letting go. It could even be the death of a personality trait that just was not serving anybody anymore, person B most of all, and person A was able to see that in person B. But whatever the demands of that person A had for person B, they were not unreasonable. It may have been an ultimatum, maybe just to keep this going, but the demands person A had were not unreasonable for person B. I don't get that from person A at all. It's their soul is very gentle. So whatever suggestions they had for their partner, it's almost like they knew it was good for person B as well. You both may have been working on your sacral energies, because I am seeing the fox is orange. I'm also getting throat chakra and heart chakra with the teal, which is somewhere in between, because you have teal in this card, in background, in the water, and even in the fox card, which it's just the background, but there must have been a lot of communication, a lot of heart-guided communication in this connection. But this habit had to dissolve in order for this connection to thrive. That's what this dissolution is here. This could be at any stage of this relationship. It could be the beginning, middle, or end. I'm not saying that this relationship will end, but if for some reason that is resonating with you, maybe you've had to surrender this relationship in order for person B to thrive or to better focus on themselves. Because person B looks like they're reflecting a lot, not just because this crab is staring at the moon, but also this dragonfly is staring off into the water. They're both looking off into water, and water is emotion, specifically in these cards anyway, the profoundness of their emotions. Maybe they're doing a lot of internal work, and like I said, it might be the death of the soul, letting go of certain aspects of themselves that are no longer serving them or anybody. I'm also seeing how it's like you've both had to reflect on yourselves. Person A with the self-love and the sacral energy and just letting go, and then person B with the way, it may have been the way they communicated that had to die. Maybe they are very harsh with their words, or maybe their emotions take over a bit much. It doesn't even have to be anything like a bad habit, like like smoking or anything like that. Though it could be, because people smoke out because of their emotions, because they're stressed, or because they need help breathing. I've heard that as well. There's a lot of maturity in this relationship, because like I said, it could be at any stage. You could have a child together, because there's a baby bison here and these are the parents, so maybe there's a child involved, and therefore person B had to release something and maybe mature a bit more in order for this connection to flourish. There's a possibility this is a co-parenting relationship, but there's still like enough love in this that you see each other as friends, or that there could be a potential future with each other. Maybe take it how it resonates. Let me get the astro dice. I have already, I remember the placements. It was Taurus and the moon and the fourth house. I really feel like this connection has had to have a few restarts, just because of how my camera stopped working at 6 minutes. I was annoyed. I had a lot of good stuff in there too, but you take the pieces of what you have and you move on. Pile 4. I am getting Taurus vibes, because the bison, the buffalo, and the bull, they're all very similar animals. They're cousins, if you will, and bison is the Taurus animal. So either of you could be Tauruses. A lot of grounded energy here. At the very least, this relationship is grounded because of the maturity. With the fourth house, I am getting family vibes. Maybe you do have a household together, a few children together, or you live with each other. Or maybe family was meddling too much in this connection. Maybe that's something that had to die off. Maybe you had to set up boundaries with outside forces that were trying to intervene in this connection. Maybe person A was a little too attached to their family, or was taking the advice of like a parent too much, to the point that it didn't matter what person A said. It was all whatever mom or dad had to say. or whatever. With the moon, either of you could have moon in Taurus, or there's just a lot of emotion, a lot of feelings in this. And maybe this is why person A had to step back and focus on themselves and just let go. And person B had to do some self-reflecting as well. But what this has allowed for, this death and this inner reflection has allowed for, is that there's a lot more freedom in this connection now for you to be able to coexist with each other. And it's very beautiful and mature and grounded and enlightening energy. All right, let's move on to the tarot. I'm sorry if it felt short. I feel like I was trying to remember a lot of what I previously said, but instead it's like, and I have said different things now than before. Maybe this was the better reading of this pile than whatever it is that I had finished. I'm also checking my camera now to make sure that, yeah, okay. This is all recorded. I'm new to this. I'm not used to recording videos, but I love reading tarot, and I have been doing that for quite a while. And I want to take the moment to thank you for being here with me and for allowing me to read your energies and look into your relationship to see how I can better give you perspective and advice. And let me know if any of this resonates with you, because it allows me to, you know, it's just confirmation of my craft. All right, so we're going to be using the Tarot of the Divine. We have Ace of Swords, King of Cups, Seven of Cups, the World, and the Four of Cups. I feel like these two should be reversed. Anytime I see the World, I feel like it should be at the end of a reading. And we're going to clarify with the Sun and Moon Tarot. So to clarify the Ace of Swords, we have Princess of Swords. To clarify the King of Cups, Nine of Wands. To clarify the Seven of Cups, Six of Cups. To clarify the Four of Cups, Ten of Cups. And to clarify the World, Prince of Cups. This is so sweet. This is so sweet. Back of the deck energy, Queen of Swords. Whoever person A was, you're the Queen of Swords. In fact, I think most of the sword suits here are you. It's really pulling through that Libra energy, especially because Libra is an air sign and the swords are the air. They're the air suits in tarot. Let me get a glass of water because there's also a lot of water in this reading. Oh my God. There's been a lot of communication in this connection. There's a lot of blue. And I mean, this deck has a lot of blue in it already, but there's also a lot of cups, a lot of emotional communication, lots of heart to hearts. And there's also a lot of blue in the Sun and Moon, and that one's not as blue. But also lots of moons. Maybe you guys like to moon gaze. Maybe the moon is significant for you too. Maybe you both have a lot of Cancer placements in your charts. So yeah, you've had to revise how things are done in this connection with the Ace of Swords and the Princess of Swords. It's almost like this thought may have come out of nowhere. Maybe person A is not used to expressing their thoughts and emotions. So whenever they had to make this be known to person B, it was a big step for them. And it was a big step for this connection as well, because it allowed for it to flourish. I'm sorry if you can hear the dogs in the neighborhood. They have a lot of dogs here and sometimes they go crazy. All right, pile 2. If it looks like your setup is different, that's because I had finished your reading, well, the tarot part of your reading, and I was going to go back and check up on the camera, and I noticed that it cut me off again. So this is the 3rd time I'm starting your reading. Thank you for your patience. But something tells me maybe this kind of energy is prevalent in your connection. Maybe you've had to start over multiple times. And if that's resonating with you, please let me know, because wow, this reading has been kind of a wild ride. I stopped, had to go do some errands, came back and had to look for all the cards again, had to place them back where they were. I have forgotten most of what I've said. I remember something about maturity and something about growing through this relationship. But something else that has been in the back of my mind while thinking about this is, how often are you going to keep restarting? How often are you going? Because the 7 of Cups is choices, but I'm also looking at chances. It's like that card that says, well, maybe this time they'll be this way, or this time they'll be that way, or next time. It's a redundant energy. And maybe one or both of you, or either or, is stuck on something. And this may be that unhealthy habit that needs to die. Maybe you just need to make up your mind about whether you want to stay in this connection or not, because there is a lot of love and there is a lot of potential for growth. There has been growth already, but Spirit is giving me the energy I'm feeling right now is one of, it's urgent. It's kind of like you have to choose whether you want to stay in this, whether you want to keep working on it, or just let it go. Just because there is love between 2 people doesn't mean that their circumstances will allow them to figure stuff out sometimes. And I'm not telling you what to do. It's more like a drastic change is needed, a big breath of fresh air. And if this is more than the 2nd time that this has happened, maybe it's time to take what you've learned from this relationship and move on to something better. And I know it's hard. I know there's a lot here. I know that there's a lot of love and a lot of potential for growth. And whatever I may have said previously before this shift in the camera, before I got cut off, maybe that has been lost, quite literally. I'm not telling you what to do. Take what resonates, and if for some reason this isn't resonating with you, by all means disregard it. This is still your reading, but I even had to turn on the light, so now there's like this golden glow to this. It's like there's growth, but at the same time, maybe the growth you've achieved is it's all that you were meant to learn through this connection, pile 4. This is all I'm getting from this for now. Let's go on to the advice. I'm sorry for the shift in tone and energy now. It's weird that I've had to restart. And for different reasons too. First it cut off because there was no space, and then it got cut off because ran out of battery. Maybe every time it's a different reason why you have to restart your relationship as well. But you have to ask yourself whether you want to keep doing this or not. Pile 4. Alright, so what advice can we get for my beautiful, lovely, and very patient pile 4? We have Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts and past lives. Yeah, something needs to be let go of. Keepers of the earth, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand behind you. And Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty, devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. And from the ritual deck, let's get some ritual advice for pile 4. Yarrow, dream, charm, allure. I'm sorry if I mispronounce this. Sri Yantra, center, transcendence, freedom. And carnelian, warrior, creativity, ambition. Carnelian was the stone from the first pile. Maybe that pile was resonating with you before you chose this one. All right. So yeah, something needs to be let go for good. Releasing also, or the pattern may need to be let go. If you can hear that, that's my dog. He's a little. Let's see if it needs to be let out. So you need to let something go, don't you? Yeah, something needs to be let out. Not just my dog. Something needs to be let go. It could be these patterns that you keep finding yourself with this individual. Pile 4. It could be the past or even a soul contract. Maybe you need to do a lot of decording or detachment from this person. With Keepers of the Earth, you are not alone, your ancestors. You might be repeating patterns from your family, like maybe whatever your parents did or what your parents did, your great-grandparents, your parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. These ancestral patterns can haunt us, and perhaps you're playing this out with your person, whomever they may be, or they may be doing the same. And this needs to be released, especially with this card. This card is just so, you both need to let go of each other, of expectations, and sometimes when you let somebody go, they come back to you, and that's fine. Just make sure it's not that same pattern. Pile 4. With Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty, devotion, I just get the sense you need to be out with your friends more. Maybe speak with a close friend or a friend who is understanding of the situation. But you're surrounded by people who love you and will support you, Pile 4, regardless of what you decide to do in this connection. With Yarrow, yeah, I get the sense you have a lot of charm and allure, but also pay attention to your dreams. They may be trying to tell you something about this connection. You need to, through centering yourself, you find freedom. Is what I'm getting out of Sri Yantra. Carnelian, warrior, creativity, and ambition. Maybe it's time to focus, because carnelian is a stone of focus. Maybe it's time to focus on moving forward. I'm getting a lot of fire energy. It says this is Virgo, but really I'm getting more Scorpio energy from this, and I think Scorpio was one of the cards that was previously there, or maybe not. I did speak about sacral energy though, and again, maybe whatever you need to let go is in your sacral chakra, in your sacral energy. Because you also get a lot of inspiration in the sacral chakra. But with carnelian, you need a breath of fresh air. Something needs to change for the good, but it cannot keep repeating itself. And that is all I have for you today, Pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If anything resonated, please let me know. If you feel the need to do so, you can comment, like, and subscribe. And I do have personal readings open right now, and I have that information in the description. Again, thank you so much for your patience, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye.